always, Wes McCauley. I was gonna say Boston, but valid. Let's go!
Good. We all feel
Stop! Never gets rusty!
What am I doing?
Into my kitchen! Producer Drew, can you fix all this?
And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently.
With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Leafs lose 3-2 in overtime to the Boston Bruins in Boston. And I am going to tee off on them. I'm going to shred them like a block of cheese. But I got a couple things that I need to get to first, if you could just bear with me, okay? This is so good. This is so good. If you're one of those people who watches LFR every day, great, that's amazing. If you're one of those sickos who watches like 3 or 4 of these a year, don't worry, you came to the right one. First and foremost, gotta promote this. On Saturday, that's the next Leafs game, I'm gonna be streaming the thing, and it's gonna be available worldwide. It's gonna be called LFR Live as I return to the streaming world by popular demand, and it's brought to you by Sports Interaction, and it's gonna be on their platform, The Locker Room. Now, obviously, it's not gonna have game footage because we don't own the game footage, but it's gonna be a sidecast. You can watch the game with me, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun! So look for that. LFR Live will have more info on tomorrow's Steve Dangle podcast. Next, before I carve the Leafs like a Thanksgiving lasagna, why are we all still pretending to like turkey? It should be a lasagna! It's better! Before we do that, I'd actually like to do something positive, okay? We're gonna have a celebration. Are you ready, everyone? Boys and girls? Are you ready? Okay, we're gonna have a nice little song. Get on your singing voices. 3, 2, 1. Happy retirement to Wes. Oh, don't drop it. Happy retirement to Wes. He hasn't announced that he's retiring. I'm just trying to speak it into existence. Oh my God, you're so bad at your job, retire. Now I know what you're thinking. Steve, did you actually get up mid-game, go to the grocery store, and have a happy retirement Wes cake made? Yes, I did. I know what else you're thinking. Is that how you spell retirement? And no, it's not actually. That says Happy Retirement Wes. At the grocery store, they were very adamant that they could fit Happy Retirement Wes on there, and well, you know, sure, we missed a letter, but if I know Wes McCauley, he'll let it slide. ScoutingTheRefs.com, it's a wonderful website, says that Wes McCauley has officiated in 1,291 career NHL games, and I assume this was game 1,292. A 1,292 game, a nearly 1,300 game infliction on this league and on this sport that we all love. And honestly, we owe him an apology. A lot of Leafs fans owe him an apology, and I'll tell you why. A lot of Leaf fans thought Wes McCauley was just biased towards the Leafs or biased against the Leafs on account of they're like, what, 0-8 in playoff games where he's the ref? I'm sure it's a fluke. I'm sure it's a fluke. I don't think he's biased against the Leafs. Genuinely. I don't actually think that. I think he's just terrible. So terrible. Look at this. This isn't a penalty. Ah! 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 You're right there. You're right. You're looking at it. You're not. Oh, there was a lot going on, and there was some other. What are you doing? Where do I sign up to get paid to watch NHL games like this, Wes? What are you doing? This guy has officiated 10 Stanley Cup final games, which is tied for the most among active officials. This is the best the NHL thinks it can do by virtue of how they hand out these games. These games are extremely important. Angel Hernandez actually sued Major League Baseball because he wasn't getting World Series games. And Major League Baseball said, well, it's because you suck. Like, they argued it in court. This guy gets the most Stanley Cup final games in the league because this is genuinely what the league feels is the best they can do. And I'm here to tell you, it's not. And guys, like, it's not about him being old. Like, he's not old. He's not even close to being the oldest official. Like, there are older, better officials. It has nothing to do with when he started officiating. You know, that was in 2003 in the National Hockey League. That was his first game. There are guys who have been doing it since the 90s. It is about he stinks. How many times have you ever heard me rant about Dan O'Rourke? Who is that? Exactly. No one's talking about Francois Saint Laurent, who was another guy in this game, who's had over 900 games. This dude is so bad. Always so bad. And by the way, Bruins fans, dude, I can't argue with you on this one. I can't. I love you. I am unreasonable about my team as well. As you can tell, I'm actually sweating already. I haven't even gotten to the game yet. Marchand's stick is between Liljegren's legs. His stick is in his feet. The other leg is sweeping out the other foot. That's why he Superman drop kicks the end boards. Definitely looks like a high ankle sprain or something. Sheldon Keefe says he's going to miss a long period of time. Like it's going to be significant. Put it up on the screen again. There it is. How close is this to the legal definition of wage theft? What are you doing out there? What are you doing out there? Listen, you don't have to do this, man. You can go do something else. I can tell you don't like it. Beat it. Go. Scram. The sport will be so much better once this guy decides to take up something else. It's not a bad call. It's not about missing a bad call. Guys are going to make bad calls, and he missed ones against the Bruins in this game, and because he bloody should have, if makeup calls are something that exists. But he's going to miss calls. He's going to screw up. He's going to have bad weeks, bad months, maybe even a bad season. It's been difficult. It's been difficult out there, man, these last few years in just the world. Oh my God, it's been years! This guy is sub-NHL standard. I don't care how personable he is in enterprise commercials. I don't care that he does 5 minutes for fighting. Stop fixing your hair and working on your showmanship and get good. Look at this nonsense, Wes. You're not ashamed? Horrible! Speaking of ashamed, Leafs, I cannot tell which team makes me more miserable. The Boston Bruins or the Toronto Maple Leafs. You have the Boston Bruins who will not go away. They are like Cerberus, the three-headed dog of Hades. You cut off one head and three go in its place. Krejci and Bergeron retired! They lost Tyler Bertuzzi, who is on the Leafs now, who had 10 points in 7 games in a playoff series the Bruins choked in. They don't get the reputation for choking. Meanwhile, they do it all the time! But the reason we forget is because they go to the Stanley Cup final and stuff. They take terrible line changes with 15 seconds left in the period, costing their team their entire season, but they make it there, for goodness sakes. This right here, this is Ryan Reeves, who we're so close to, you know what? We are going to have that conversation. I want to talk about someone else. Tyler. It's pretty funny, huh? It's pretty funny. Get off the Toronto Maple Leafs. 10 points in 7 games. All you were able to get is a $5 million one-year deal. I wonder why. What a teammate. What a teammate. Oh, yuck. What knee slapper was going on there on the ice? He just got demoted to the 4th line. Why? Noah Gregor's on this team. He just got benched for Noah Gregor. A rookie as well. Yarncroke is on the first line. The Leafs have a long history of getting hard-nosed players who had success in Boston and Boston wasn't able to keep. The last guy was Nick Ritchie, and you're having the same career path, trajectory. You're spending money every time you take the ice. And I know this guy isn't 100%. They got to stop dressing him. Because that's not a useful player the way he's playing right now. And this is the kind of teammate he is so far. You're not on the Bruins anymore, Tyler. You're not on the Bruins anymore. Sheldon benched you after this, and he was right. Speaking of Sheldon, you're not going to get too many brownie points because you keep putting David Kampf out there on the 3rd line. It is a waste of Matthew Nye's time, who got promoted. What does Max Domi do? I'm starting to feel bad in that I don't know what he's supposed to do, given his deployment, but he's not taking it. He's not taking it from anybody. This is a guy who Elliot Friedman says wants to be on the Leafs for a very, very long time. Can anyone point me to the player playing like he wants to be on the Leafs for a very long time? Here. Let's go look for him. I don't. Who? Where? Effort where? Marchand took out Timothy Liljegren, and you were yapping at him from the bench, everybody. Not even yapping. Not even yapping. I've seen people blow their tops off, come full undone, lose their mind. You got guys like spitting mid-conversation, having a casual chat, laughing, some of them. We were sold a false bill of goods. This team has snot. It has piss and vinegar. Brad, you got some trades to make. They lied to you. They lied to you, just like they lied to the last guy. They're not going to try harder for you. They're not going to give it all every night. Dude, do you know what a miracle it was that they got a point in this game? And you might be freaking out like, Steve, why are you so upset? They got a point in the standings, a very valuable point in the standings. I'm not denying that. They took Boston to the shootout. It's basically a tie. Dude, they got outplayed every step of the way, and this is every Leaf loss that we have watched for several years. They get outplayed, they get outscored, they fall behind, the big guys come to the rescue because they're cheating on offense, and then once the game is tied again, they're trash! How many times do we need to see this? And nope, core four's still together. We've committed to that. They're still together. The guy who's been arguably the best so far this season has no contract for next year. They're not going to be able to afford him. You had an opportunity to fix this. And you surrounded it with what? A bunch of players who lied to you when they signed their contract. Snot. Piss and vinegar. Dude, after that Marchand thing, I almost didn't care about the outcome of the game. I could have cared less if the Leafs lost that game 12-0. Go out there and do something. Oh, you're not going to do it? Like, not even a stinky fit. You know who the Leaf was who came the closest to doing something? John Klingberg. You're not ashamed? You don't put on that jersey and look in the mirror and go, who am I? Like, who do I think I am? Am I who I thought I was? Like, how do you not get existential after that? How do you not know in your heart of hearts that the Boston Bruins and even the LA Kings and any other team worth a damn in this league, how do you not know that they own your heart and soul? Yes, it's game 10. I think the Ducks game last year where I went off was game 10. It's the same thing. What drove me nuts last year is it was the same group. They weren't advertised as different. This year's team is advertised as different. What I think the differentiating factor is Brad Treliving is in charge. It's a different guy. We know the kind of team he wants, and every night we watch Sheldon Keefe ice very, very not that team. Part of it is because of the cap situation. Like, Bertuzzi shouldn't be playing games. That should be someone called up and in his place while he heals up and recovers from whatever joke he heard on the ice. Ryan Reeves has to be hurt. Ryan Reeves was unhinged in his first two games. It wasn't even just the fights, because he had fights. He didn't initiate either one. People initiated fights with him because he was laying brutal hits, clean hits at every turn. He was a battering ram out there. The Duke could barely skate. Skates at the speed of smell. And you're going to get people going, oh, this is who he is. This is who he always was. No, he's not. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it. Yes, they got outchanced. They got outshot. Whatever. But I saw with my own eyes the reasons why you put up with those shortfalls when it comes to Ryan Reeves. And then it's been 8 games that followed that it... How many Marlies are better than him? Like, how many Marlies would be more effective than him up front? How many Marlies defensemen would be a better forward than Ryan Reeves has been through 10 games this season? He's been shameful. He's got to be hurt. And if he's not, oh no, we're in so much trouble. 3-year deal. And all of that while wasting the best game Ilya Samsonov has played in months and months and months. That would have been like a top 10 Ilya Samsonov game from last season when he was very good, or at very least super adequate, got them to the playoffs, got them through the first round. The better goalie against Andrei Vasilevsky, okay? You could argue he was a better goalie in this game, or at very least he had the tougher workload in this game, and he went punch for punch, toe to toe with Jeremy Swayman, and it came down to the shootout. I can see the sweat. I could see it. I had to wipe it away because I could see it. So Brad, here's what you got besides a team that is not nearly what you advertised to this fan base through 10 games. You're going to have to call someone up to replace the player who was injured and your team did nothing to stick up for. And then after that, I guess your cap situation has you in a position where you can't do anything to address the shortcomings of this team. So David Kampf is on the third line just because he's paid like a third liner. That's the long-term plan here. Your big July 1st signing or whenever it was with Tyler Bertuzzi, that $5 million 1 year show me deal is taken up by a player who is showing you that he's mentally still in Boston. What are you going to do here, Brad? What are you going to do? With Dubas, I think the frustration was I knew he was going to stick to the team. And, I mean, he was right to an extent in that they won a round, but, you need 16 wins. They got 5. It's not great. With Brad, I am at very least he's going to do something. That something can show up anytime now. You go to Sweden in less than 2 weeks. Anytime. Now, I've said my piece. I'll do questions after Marley Minute. We're going to do Marley Minute. Change the pace a little bit. Nick Barton, he covers the Toronto Marlies for SDPN. Way to go, kid. He got to talk to Marlies head coach, John Gruden, who was an assistant coach with the Boston Bruins. Here he is, talking about with the Marlies.
There are two things that make John Gruden the perfect coach for the Toronto Marlies. He knows how to win, and he knows how to develop players. When talking about the type of coach he is, he likes to say he's a player's coach, but more importantly, he likes to give the players a nudge when they need it, maybe when they're not playing as good as they should be, or things like that. He said along with that players want a coach who's invested, and that's what Gruden tries to be every day for the Toronto Marlies, a coach that is invested in his players to help them through thick and thin, to help them become the best players that they can be now and in the future. When Gruden was hired by the Marlies, the biggest thing that stuck out for me was the fact that he was an assistant with the Bruins in their historic regular season last year. And I had to ask about that. I had to know, was there anything that stood out about that season that really helped with development? The biggest thing, though, that he said he learned while with the Bruins was how difficult it was to win. He said he also learned a lot from players and their leadership, from guys like Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, and the rest of the team. But he said the biggest thing was, you can learn from coaches a lot, but you can also learn from players a lot too. And that's what he took away from his experience in Boston.
Thank you, Nick. That's good legitimate journalism as I sit next to a happy retirement West cake. I'm actually resisting eating this. I want to have it on the podcast tomorrow. Questions. This isn't a question. It's just producer Drew being him. Boston Bruins start the season 9-0-1. I, for one, am excited for Toronto versus Tampa 3.0. Pain. Life is endless pain. Ooh, from Dan. So, now that this team's identity is no longer Kyle's guys, what is this team's identity other than weird and unassuming? Well, I think you nailed it, but you should also add weak and soft. And don't stick up for their teammates and play the game with no integrity. That was, At the way they were sold to us in the offseason and in training camp and in the preseason and right up to game 1 versus the team that showed up for game 10, liars. Dirty liars. All of them. To all of us. Is Wes McCauley a fraud? No. A fraud would be an official who showed us over a long period of time that they were good, who then magically turned bad. He's just bad. He's been bad. He has a long track record of being bad. So, not a fraud. Does Sammy have to start scoring as well to ever get a win again? Well, you might be onto something. He should be third line center. He might be more productive. I will end on this final note. I'm watching TV, all right? I see a commercial for a pepperoni pizza, all right? This pizza place, they tell us we make the best pizza in the world. You will not believe how good this pizza is. So I get excited. I get on my phone. I call up the pizza place. I go, one super good, super delicious pepperoni pizza, please. And I hang up the phone, and it shows up to my door, and I open the box and it's just a pickle. It's just a pickle in the box. That's all it is a pickle. I have a right to be mad because I was told I was getting something else. This team said they were going to have snot. They said they were going to be piss and vinegar. They were going to stand up for each other. Oh, if I was there when Radko Guda. If you were there, what? This team is as soft and baby crap as they ever were, if not worse. They have to fix it immediately. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Same old Leafs.